So we're here to discuss, talk about, or go through some work on forgiveness and about the power of forgiveness. So I'll start off with what made me feel that forgiveness is powerful. So there were two ways in which I discovered the power of forgiveness in my own life. I used to have a lot of guilt related to my mother, because my mother passed away when I was about 21, 22, and at that time I was making a decision which she was not very happy with. She had cancer, and just at that time and all through my life, she always felt I was very easy to raise. I didn't give any problems. It was a good relationship. Everything was fine. But at that stage, I wanted to marry someone which she knew was not going to work, and so there was a lot of anxiety, tension, upset, everything that she was going through, and I was being stubborn. I was not listening. So, and then when she passed away, by then she had already had cancer. So when she passed away with this very unhappy feeling of knowing that her daughter was going to have a bad marriage, bad life, whatever it was that she thought. So after she passed away, I would not be able to talk about her at all. Or if the family, she was very popular in the whole family, so everybody, when cousins, all of us met, there'd be a lot of talk and stories about her and all that. I could never entertain any of those things. The minute anybody's brought up my mother's topic, I would change the topic, because it would create a whole lot of guilt and churning inside of me. If I had to speak about her, there'd be a choking sensation. I couldn't talk about her. So it was that bad, and I carried on like that for many years. Until at one point, I did some program, and there I mentioned that I have this big guilt about my mother, and I did not know how to forgive myself, or I didn't even think of the concept of forgiving myself or anything. It was just that I knew I made her unhappy, I made her miserable. And then in this program, this whole thing came up, and we did some process, and there I felt like I was being lifted out of a deep well, like I was just coming right out of it. And then I experienced one huge freedom, and after that I could actually feel all that love that I felt for my mother, which I had to block off completely. I couldn't think about it. So then it was like I could now have her in my heart, and she was with me in my life. And after that I was able to talk about her, we were able to have jokes about her, share stories about her, everything became normal. So that was my first experience of the power of forgiveness in the form of forgiving myself. It was more self-forgiveness. And then over the years in my client work, I started recognizing that every time, slowly I started finding this correlation that every time there was some big change, big shift, some major healing that happened, if I look back and see what did they actually do before that, what happened before that, it would have been something where some forgiveness had taken place. Now it might have been something that I led them through, it might have been something that just happened for them spontaneously, or because of some other release they started feeling more forgiving. But there would always, very often there would be a link, there would be a connection, that especially after they've done something which involved forgiveness, there would be some kind of a big shift in their lives. And this again was very powerful. It was like, how powerful can forgiveness be? And then it was like, in which areas does it really work? And again, there was no specific area. It was like it worked everywhere. If you are stuck somewhere, then now for me, if anybody is stuck somewhere, the thing is, where do I need to forgive? It's as simple as that. And if that forgiveness happens, then that path just opens up and you're able to move forward. So in the work with my clients, what I'm talking about, it was like so many different areas. there was one person who came for a workshop. So when I started recognizing that, there's some link between forgiveness and the healing that happens for them, which is quite exponential. Then I started designing small workshops. So I started with a 3-hour workshop, and then that kept evolving and until it became a 3-day and now even a certification training program. And also my PhD was on forgiveness. So in the process, what happened while workshops were happening, one person who came, in the middle of the workshop, she said, can I share something with you? It was outside in the lunch break. She said, can I share something with you? I said, why don't you bring it up in the session? Because usually most things are relevant for the group as such. So she said, I'm feeling awkward to bring it up in the session. I said, we have 3 days, no? You just see if you're able to bring it up, bring it up. If you can't, then at a later point you come and speak to me. And I forgot about it. The next day I went, and then on the last day, usually it's like everything is going in one, flow, and there's really no time for sharing in between. But then she suddenly said, I want to say something. And I was about to say, no, let's share later, but then something made me say, okay. And then she says, I had this urinary block, which has been going on for some time, for some 1 year or 2 years. It was after a DNC, and I was always blaming my doctor, my gynecologist, for that particular block. And every day I suffer with this. And now after we did the release work, which was done with the day she wanted to come and talk to me, she said after the release work, when I went to the bathroom, I was able to pass urine freely. There was no problem. And she said that's when I realized it is not the doctor's fault, it was my emotional block that had caused this problem. Just imagine. Actually, and it was not something she had for a week or something, it was there for a year or 2. And then she said, anyway, you said to wait, to share in the group, and I didn't feel up to it. But anyway, that gave me a chance to go home and then see and then check out for that. Because she said, I also thought, okay, this is a one-off thing, maybe after this again it's going to be blocked. But she said after that there's no block, I'm perfectly fine. So, did she know what she was working on? She didn't know. Did she work on that particular doctor when she did this release work? No. But something just got released and things changed for her. This is hell. Like this, many stories about hell. About relationships. There was a man, he finished the workshop, he went home, he came back for a follow-up, and then he said, I was feeling so much love for my father, which has never happened before. He said, my father and I, hate is not the word, he said. He said, we could kill each other. It's that bad a relationship. And he said, my mother would never ever dream of leaving the 2 of us alone in the house and going anywhere. Like she might go for a short 1 or 2 hour thing, but she won't leave the city and go somewhere because she was really afraid that they'd kill each other that time. And he said, after the workshop, I felt so much love for my father. I've been wanting to cook for him, I've been wanting to look after him, I've been doing things for him. And the surprising part is he's not even being suspicious or anything. He's also able to accept all that I'm doing for him. And then he said, the final thing was when my mother actually, without even any discussion, she said, I want to go on a pilgrimage with my friends and you take care of your father, and she left. She went on a trip. For somebody who would not leave even for 1 night, she was able to go on a happy long pilgrimage, leaving them both together without any, and they didn't discuss it. They didn't say, okay, now it's all okay, now you can both be. It was all so organic. So again, what was he working on in the workshop? He also did. It's not like he particularly worked on his father. But the forgiving happened, and then this is what happened. What about, money and that kind of thing. There was another man there was a woman who was involved with, they had a huge amount of properties and there were a lot of court cases. And they've been working on those cases for years and nothing was getting settled. And after the work, those people came on their own and sorted the whole thing out and the cases got resolved. So again, how did it happen? So sometimes it sounds like miracles, but when we hear these stories, every workshop, almost everybody in the workshops have different stories. We can just see that it's working in different areas of life. So even if a person has one issue, you're thinking of your health, when you do the work, because you're working at a deeper level, you're working at some emotional block inside, it clears so many other things outside. It may not be just that particular thing that you're working on. That's the power that forgiveness has. Don't you think all this is powerful? Yes. Absolutely powerful. No? And for me myself, once I was having one frozen shoulder. So I could not raise my hand more than this. It was very difficult to go beyond this. And I was doing a whole lot of things. I was doing, for some time I did physio, then I was doing yoga, I was doing affirmations, I was doing multiple things, meditation, everything, multiple things to work on this. And however much I did, it would just go to this level. Then at some point I said, maybe I'm doing too much, let me stop doing this much, let me just relax. I'm maybe stressing too much over this. But if I relaxed, even one of the things I was doing a little bit, it would not even go this much, it would stop here. Then it was like scary, it might just go, get worse. So I would keep doing, but it was so frustrating, to do that much work every day without seeing real progress. It's just that it's not getting worse, but I'm not seeing any improvement. And I was doing these multiple affirmations. So I said, why can't I just make these into songs? I'll make all these affirmations into songs and then I'll play them so it will be easier for me to just listen to them and sing along. And so the first song I made was the Forgive song. I went to a studio, I got a director, I got a singer, we got singers, all that, and then recorded the song. I knew nothing much about, not much, I knew nothing about recording and all that, but anyway we just went and did it. And so it took from 12 in the afternoon, it went on till some 12 in the night. I think I reached home at 1 that night. So it was like continuously I'm hearing these words being repeated over and over again. Because when they're recording, it's repeated several times, it has to be perfect. And then after that, the background music is being played, so it's being repeated continuously. So which means for 12 hours, I was continuously hearing those same words over and over again. I went home, went to sleep, got up in the morning, and this frozen shoulder was there for more than 6 months. Okay, so then I got up in the morning, and when I woke up, there was nothing. I could just move my hand any which way. And so I'm thinking, no, but I have this frozen shoulder and I couldn't believe it's gone. So I'm trying to get it back, I'm trying to do something. But it didn't come back, it disappeared. So what happened? Without even knowing what I was working on, just listening to those words over and over again, something got forgiven. Obviously this was related to, I didn't even know I had something to forgive. Otherwise I would have at least done that. I had no idea. But something obviously got released, something was forgiven, and this block was gone. It was no longer holding. It's really, really powerful. And even though it is so powerful and even though it's so effective, why do people not want to forgive? Or why do people not forgive? There are various reasons. One is because we may not even know, like I did not even know. I didn't know I had something to forgive when my shoulder was frozen. I was just looking at so many other things. That's one reason. Another reason is we might know, they might know there's something to forgive, but they don't know how to forgive. Because a lot of times, what do you think? We think forgiveness, a lot of people at least think forgiveness is a decision to take. That a lot of times people will tell me, no, there's no problem there. I decided to forgive and I've forgiven and it's over. But forgiveness is not as simple as that. You can't just decide to forgive and then it's not done. Because that's at the cognitive level. Your decision is at the cognitive level. But what about all the emotions that would have come up when you were angry or when you got hurt? Those emotions have to be processed. Only when those emotions are processed, you come into that state of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not one feeling that you can just bring up. Right? If I just say now feel forgiveness, how will you feel it? You can't feel it. It's a state that you come to. It's something that happens when you do certain things. And what are the certain things? That is all that release of those old emotions that are already stuck inside. Or new emotions which have just come up and it's in the way. So you want to release those emotions, you want to integrate what's necessary to integrate and let go of the rest. So that then you are in that state of forgiveness where you can, you're willing to accept what. So we might not know, we might know but we don't know how. Or we might think, why should I forgive them when they've done something and why should I be doing all the hard work? That's a common thing which clients tell me. But why am I doing all the work, Sampoorna? Because you want to be happy. It's for your happiness. So if you want to be happy, you take the responsibility in your hands and you do it. So then, if I want to be happy, but I am depending on you to do the work, and you don't do the work, to whom am I giving the power? To outside. Only if they do something, only if they apologize, I can be happy. Then the power is outside of me. But if I can do the work, then I am taking the responsibility. I also have the power to live my life the way I want. Okay, so when we forgive, just a decision is the first step. But from the decision, it has to go to processing of the emotions. That is the most important. And that happens, the forgiveness happens naturally. But many people wouldn't know that. And so they feel, I've done it. But then life is still not working. Then you have to just see. Maybe I've decided to forgive, that's the first step, but now maybe I need to take it further. Then the other thing is that why would they deserve to be forgiven by me? Somebody's done wrong. Why should I forgive them? They don't deserve my forgiveness. So forgiveness is not about whether they deserve it. It's about whether I deserve to be happy. Who is suffering because of not forgiving? Myself, no? If I don't forgive, I'm the one who's stuck with all those toxic feelings of bitterness, revenge, resentment, all that. So who is going to be the one to struggle and suffer in life? Myself. Now supposing the other person has done something and they've gone, or they're still there, whatever it is, they finished that act. For them it's over, but I'm the one who's still carrying on with it. Now let's say they did it deliberately. They deliberately wanted to hurt me. Now they've done it once, but who's doing it over and over again to myself? I'm doing it to myself, no? And it's almost like I am continuing to do the job for them. I'm doing them a favor. They want to hurt me? Okay, you just do it once and I'll continue to do it for you. It's really ridiculous. Yeah, so it doesn't work. And it's literally like I'm doing them a favor. Or say they did not mean to hurt me, it was by mistake. Then okay, then in any case, if it was a mistake, then it's worth forgiving them. So when it's coming to deservability, whether they deserve to be forgiven or not, It's not about them, it's about me. Do I deserve to be happy or not? And if I deserve to be free, if I deserve to be happy, then I can forgive myself. I can forgive them. So like this, there are various reasons. Another common thing, a couple of other things are, I'm afraid to forgive because then I might have to reconcile with this person. So reconciliation and forgiveness are two separate things. You need to forgive if you want to reconcile. But you don't need to reconcile to forgive. You can forgive and still choose not to reconcile. Okay? So that's one important factor, because a lot of times people say that also. See, to reconcile, we definitely need to forgive. Because without forgiving, if you reconcile, again and again the same fights will come up. But to forgive, you don't need to reconcile. You can forgive and still choose to be apart. You can still choose to break that relationship. Because it depends on what else is there in that relationship. So supposing somebody is an abuser, or somebody is sexually abusing my child, why would I want to reconcile? I might forgive and completely be fine with that person from now on. But I don't want to reconcile because I'm also worried about the safety. Okay, so if we separate the two, then it's like, okay, then the option is mine whether I want to reconcile or not. Okay, and the other big one is justice. A lot of times it's like, where's the justice then for the victim? If you're going to just forgive the aggressor, then how will what is the justice for the victim? Now who's suffering? Whatever the thing is, who is suffering? It's the victim who's suffering, no? So where's the justice for the victim to be suffering more and more? Right? Where is the justice in that? Why should they suffer more and more? So forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about oneself. It is a gift to oneself. It is to bring freedom to oneself. It's to make oneself have a life that they want to live. So it's not at all about the other person. And it's not like we're bestowing forgiveness on somebody when we do it. It's more like, I'm doing this for myself. In the process, you're also being set free. I'm free and you're free. That's what forgiveness is about. So with all these reasons which are there for us to be able to forgive, if we still don't forgive, it's only because we don't know how, or we don't know that there are specific methods. Because in life, forgiveness could happen or it may not happen. We know people, all of us know people, or we might also be carrying grudges from years and years and years, and still we don't forgive. So it could happen naturally, or it might not happen at all. We might carry on, and which is another reason why we are born again and again, because all these things are unfinished. And then we have to keep coming back to clear more and more. I think one of the biggest reasons for us to be here is to be able to release all those emotions, to let it go, so that we can actually forgive and experience the love that's inside of us. The forgiveness and love are very deeply interconnected. So the more we let go, the more we forgive, the more we are in that state, the more love, compassion and everything that's inside of us is able to flow out more naturally. It's not like we don't have it, or it's not like we're generating something new. That is our core state. That love, well-being, compassion, all these are the core states. And what blocks us? What blocks that from? Blocks us from feeling that all the time. All the layers, no? All those emotions, all those layers that surround it. It's like walls around it. So then we can't access it. Even if we want to feel it, we can't access it. Or occasionally when we feel very safe, we can access it. So as we drop all those layers, those emotional blocks and those layers, this thing just starts, this love and compassion and well-being and everything just starts to flow naturally. It's naturally coming out of you and you just feel it, whether it's relevant or not, whether you need to feel it with somebody or not, it just naturally feels. And that is what people will also start recognizing. Lot of times workshop participants and clients will come back saying, nowadays people are telling me I look so good, nowadays people are telling me I've changed. Why are they looking good? Why are people wanting to be around them? Something changes in the energy field, right? So that's what happens. So I just wanted to give you a small introduction to what forgiveness is, what it's, and another thing, what it's not. Also to tell you what it's not. So one, I told you it's not just a decision. Decision is the first step. Another thing is that lot of times you've heard people say forgive and forget. Correct? How many of you agree with that? Forgive and forget. Okay. So you don't want to forgive and forget. Because you can't forget. It's part of your life. It's part of your timeline. It's there in you. So if you forget it, usually what happens is when you forget it, you'll forget the whole phase of your life. Along with that incident, along with those emotions, even your positive emotions will be forgotten. And many times people will say, I can't remember anything of my childhood. I can't remember certain years of my life. All that is because they try to forget something. So you can't forget, you don't want to forget. You want to remember because then you can take all the learnings from it. How do you want to remember it is the question. Do you want to remember it with all that emotional charge? Or do you want to remember it in a new way, with love? It removes that emotional charge. So once that emotional charge is removed, that's just another incident in your life, in your timeline. And all the learnings that you got from that will be integrated. When you forget, you don't get any learnings also from it. And you'll keep repeating that same mistake. So forgiveness is to not forget, but remember in a healthier way, in a new way.